We're talking about this today. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm gonna show you guys my experience using this, or my first couple of days using this. I'm using this for hole in the head disease, and this is for my wolf. So just keep a long story short, my wolffish has hole in the head disease, and I think I know where it's from. Hole in the head disease can come from a lot of stuff, but I think the two most talked about things is stress and water quality. So I think it could be coming from stress. Lately, my guy has been kind of aggressive. When I first had him in the bigger system with the Bashirs and all that stuff, it would attack everything. At first, it was very chill, but then it started challenging everybody, and it started flaring up to the point where it would just fight all day. And the Bashirs are kind of big. The little wolf doesn't really do too much damage to them, so they just kind of like brush it off and all that stuff. But I think all of that definitely caused a lot of stress for this guy right here. Just like how betas, when they flare against each other, it's not just the fish that's getting attacked that gets stressed. It's also the attacker that has a lot of stress too, because they're it's in a stressful situation right there. So I think that's where the stress part comes from, and also being moved from tank to tank. It did go from my 5 foot to my 4 foot to my 40s, and yeah, that's a lot of stress, and especially the big move from the first location to this location. So it's a lot of moving within that half a year and stuff, maybe even less, but I think it was around like half a year's time. So there's a lot of movement. And the second thing is water quality. Because it got super aggressive, I had to move the wolf from the 4-footer to the 40 gallon, and that was no problem. I mean, the 40 gallon's fine for the wolf. It's not super compact and all that stuff, and because it's the main fish in that tank, there wasn't really a problem. And plus, that tank is pretty over filtered. I think it's over filtered. I'll show you guys the system later. We have some modifications that we're gonna do, or some additions that we're gonna do, and I'll give you guys like a little breakdown if you guys haven't seen it before. The wolf is in the 40 gallon, is doing fine. All the little dots completely gone. But then eventually I had to rescue some mollies, maybe like 30 or 40 baby mollies that I threw into the wolf's tank, because that was the only aquarium that the mollies could survive in. And I guess with all of these fish in there releasing a whole bunch of hormones as they grow, eating and pooping and all that stuff, it just made the water quality really bad. That's when I started to notice the holes on its head start to expand. So now we're having a problem. So I went ahead and took care of the mollies, got rid of them, and now the wolf is by itself. I used to have rice fish with the wolf, but I went ahead and took everything out. All it has is the loach that's in there. There's a little dwarf chain link loach that I leave in there because it's eating up a whole bunch of snails. So after I took all the little random fish out, the mollies, the rice fish, I started doing big water changes, like 80% every week, and maybe even twice a week, just to get all that water cleared and gone. That was one of the main recommendations for clearing out hole in the head, is just providing it really clean water. And I guess the size of the holes hasn't gotten worse. So people on the forums did say that if you were doing a whole bunch of water changes and you don't see any improvements, the next step is Metro. I've been using this for the past 8 days. So you're supposed to dose one of these spoons. I'll show you. See this spoon right here? You're supposed to dose one of these spoons for every 10 gallons every 2 days. So every other day I've been using this in the tank, and it hasn't really gotten any better. It hasn't gotten worse, but it hasn't gotten any better. People are saying that hole in the head does take a while to clear up. Apparently it's really common for Oscars to get hole in the head disease, and everyone's saying that it takes a very long time for the holes to kind of patch up and heal and stuff. So yeah, I'm just hoping for the best as of right now. All right, so that's pretty much enough of this. Let's go ahead and head down to the fish room and I'll show you guys how the wolf's doing. You can kind of see the holes that I'm telling you about on his head. Actually, there's one up front, there's one up top, and then there's more on the side. I gotta get him out. In order for me to get this wolffish out, I have to go like this in front of the tank. If I do this, I don't know why, but it sees competition if I do this, and then it'll just come flying out of the cave. Check it out. See? is that he gets pissed off at my hand. Look at that. Before I had to use pieces of food to lure him out, but now I think he just sees competition with my hand and gets super territorial. And yeah, that's how I get him out of his hiding. So you can see from this side, you can see a couple of holes on above his eye. Let me go ahead and flip him around real quick. There. See? There's way more holes on this side, towards the top. But look at his face though, his cheeks. His coloration looks really good. Yeah, see? It's not pale or anything. He's still eating, still acting pretty normal. It's just those holes. But yeah, other than that, this guy's doing pretty good. Tank looks pretty good. It's fairly clear. And his filter's about to get a big upgrade, which we'll go ahead and do right now actually. I guess it's not a big upgrade, but I've been meaning to add this filtration media, which I 3D printed. So this is just like those old school bio balls that you would see in those trickle filters. It just has, you know, these little pores that water flows through, beneficial bacteria lives inside of it, and I went ahead and printed a bunch of it. And all these are gonna hopefully fill up this slot. I have a bag of biomedia in there which I'll eventually take out, but this whole middle row is gonna be the plastic balls, or the plastic squares. So up here is 2 sponges, then the plastic squares, then the biohome / EHI mixture / fluval mixture right here, and then in the black container is still the Higer media that the company gave me. Anyways, let's go ahead and add this biomedia into the empty cube. Alright, we're done. I should have probably printed like 1 or 2 more batches because it would have perfectly fit in this container and not go above this little border thing here. But yeah, so far so good. I try to pack as much as I can, but then halfway through I figured out that water goes to like the area that has the least resistance, so having them too uniform might not be such a good idea. So yeah, I ended up just mixing them all up together, and it should be pretty chill. I think you guys can see way better now. Look how like messy it is. That's perfect. So yeah, this is hopefully this is good filtration, because if this is good, I might replace 1 or 2 more cabinets with this new biological filtration. So yeah, check it out. Look at all those holes where beneficial bacteria can live. Pretty cool. Alright, so I should have cleaned this before, but I mean, this is how my filter is, so whatever. You can see, look at all that water flowing through that, man. Yay. All that beneficial. Sick. I'm definitely gonna print like 1 or 2 more layers though, so I can fill this top up, but looking pretty good. So yeah, I'm just hoping that the hole in the head disease will eventually go away, quick or fast. Just as long as it's not getting worse, I'm happy, because this wolf is one of my favorite fish, man. If it wasn't for the polypterus, I feel like I would have way more wolves and stuff up in here. If you've had any experience with hole in the head disease with any of your fish, like cichlids, Oscars, and all that stuff, and you guys have any tips or tricks, leave it down in the comments below. Again, what I'm doing is just big water changes and the metro. That's about it. Oh, and if you're wondering where all the rice fish that was originally in the wolf's tank went, I went ahead and set up this tank right here. I would show you right now, but as you can see, all of my plant lights turned off, so it's pretty dark over there. But yeah, I went ahead and set up this 5-gallon right here, and they're all in that tank. The reason for that is I didn't want to dump all the rice fish in the gulper's tank, and that would just be way too many fish in there. And then we'll have the same problem with the gulper, and then we have to deal with it, and then it's going to be all bad. So that 5-gallon that we just set up is just to hold all the rice fish for now. But it's not too overstocked. There's like 6 fish in there. It's doing pretty good. It's pretty clear, so happy with that. So yeah, that's it, man. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace, guys.